friends, this is Patty Bennett. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I blog at pattystamps.com. Today we are going to be exploring, I'm going to give you some tips on ways that I like to keep my glass mat clean, my paper trimmer clean, and how I clean my clear blocks. So this is just going to be a series of just kind of basics, things that I think maybe a beginner crafter or even a seasoned crafter who just maybe doesn't know some of these tips and tricks. I'm hoping that this will help you. So I'm going to flip my camera down and we are going to talk about cleaning clear blocks, your paper trimmer, and your glass mat. So you are looking at some of the supplies that I use to do exactly that. I like to use a microfiber cloth. I like to use hand sanitizer, and you probably kind of know where this is from. You can also just get little single packets. You can get larger containers, whatever works for you, whatever you have. But then another thing that I use that I don't know if everybody uses is alcohol wipes. So I'm going to show you how I use those. So let's just quickly run through. We're going to do clear blocks, trimmer, and then I'm going to grab my glass mat just to show you how I like to keep that clean as well with these same supplies. So when you use your clear blocks, these are Stampin' Up! Clear blocks. When you use them over and over and over, well, at least for me, I find that I get little smudges of glue just from setting it down or from picking it up, touching it. It gets some finger oils on it. I don't know. I really don't know how. I mean, it's kind of a mystery as to why they get kind of gunky, but they do. And what I like to do to clean them is I use my hand sanitizer first. And so, I don't know, what is that? A little bigger than a pea shape, however that much is. That's about how much I use. And I take my microfiber cloth and I just rub all over one side. And usually I don't need to add more because there's enough here. But if you're using or cleaning a really large block, then of course, go ahead and add a little more. But that's kind of my first swipe, is that I just do the two sides and then the four edges. That I find gets off a lot of the gunk or anything that was on there. I mean, that actually looks really good. But my final step is I take one of these alcohol wipes, and these I get in a box of, gosh, I don't know, 500 or 1,000 or something from a big box type store. You can probably see what that is there, but you can get them at any local drugstore or wherever. And I just go ahead and wipe all over, and that seems to take off just any little residual anything that might have been left from that first pass with the hand sanitizer. And it's like, voila, it is squeaky clean and beautiful. Now, there are lots of ways to clean your clear blocks. And if you have a different method that you love, no need to switch. I just like to share from time to time things that work well for me. So then I would move on to my next block and I would put a little dot of the hand sanitizer and repeat that process. And I can kind of keep using this for 2 or 3 or 4 blocks. But I'm going to show you something else that I do with these. And that is when I clean my trimmer, which, it needs to be cleaned every now and then. Like, can you see right here and right here? There's little gluey type smudges. It just happens. It happens to all of us. And so I will take that same alcohol wipe and I'll just wipe down all those little gluey spots. And if they're a little stubborn, you could use the hand sanitizer and your microfiber cloth. But really, I have found that just this little alcohol wipe just takes all of those little gluey smudges off. And then I'm going to get out another one and show you what I do with a separate one. But before I toss this one, I take, this is one of the older Stampin' Up! Pokey tools. We also offer this same tip in the Take Your Pick tool, but I have a couple old ones of these, so I use it for this specific task. I just poke into that track, okay, and then I move it to a cleaner spot, and I do it again, and to a different spot, and I do it again. And I just get any little residual dust or paper scrap parts that are in that track. That will just take them right out. So just do that. I'm not pushing super hard, but I am just cleaning that track because there's stuff in it. It just happens. Okay, so now that one's kind of used up. I'm going to put that in the recycle bin, but I am going to grab a second one and show you that I like to clean this part also, because believe it or not, this does get, this arm does get some little sticky spots on it, and I think it's nice just to try to keep that kind of cleaned up as well. So I just rub another one of those on here every once in a while and just try to remove any little gunky spots. There's just another one right up here that is being stubborn. And then just kind of in these grooves as well. And, you know, you'd be surprised. Look at the little gunk and whatnot that it pulled off of there. So it's very handy to just try to keep this somewhat clean. While this is out, I'm just going to mention, because I get questions about this all the time, I did add this extra ruler up here. I like it because, let me just grab a piece of cardstock. When I'm measuring my cardstock and let's say I want to cut this at, 3 inches or something, when I place it down on my trimmer, I have now covered up this 3-inch mark. And just for my own reference, just the way I like to craft, I like the number up here as well. I did find this on Amazon. It's called a reverse self-adhesive ruler. You always want to make sure that you're looking for the word reverse, because otherwise your ruler is going to start over here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see this goes backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes backwards, and so it's called a reverse self-adhesive ruler. There are lots of them on Amazon. I've tried to get this exact one before, and I have found that it was replaced with like a silver one or something. So I don't like to give exact links, but I will just tell you that that's what you want to search for if you like that idea. So just showing you that I do have that on there. All right, so for the glass mat, let me just grab my mat. You may have heard me say before that I don't usually have my glass mat out for my videos because my phone that I'm filming with kind of tends to not like this grid pattern. And I think it has something to do with the glass and the reflection and all of that. So that's why you don't really see me using it in my videos, but I do use it every day on my desk for crafting. Just going to see if this will help reflection. I'm going to put a couple blocks up there. There, that'll help a little bit. So on here, you can see I've got little gluey spots, just the same as my clear blocks. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. Put a couple of spots of the hand sanitizer. And then I'm just going to rub with my microfiber cloth, and it completely takes off all those gluey little spots. I'm sure there are other products you can use, but I have found that using the hand sanitizer does not scratch or do anything to hurt this surface. So I find that it's a good option for me. There's also the little tan colored microfiber. Well, I think it's microfiber, whatever that cloth is that comes with it. You can also use that with some water, and you can wipe away any ink or any smudges off of your glass mat. But I don't like to get glue on that. So that's why when I get little gluey spots, I like to go with my hand sanitizer, my microfiber cloth, and then follow up with my alcohol wipe. So that's kind of my system. And like I said, you might have a system that works great for you that you would prefer to use, and that's totally great. I have gone through lots of different systems over the years, but it's been, I'm going to say probably at least 10 years that I have done this to clean my clear blocks, my trimmer, and then now, of course, that Stampin' Up! Is offering the glass mat, which, by the way, depending on when you're watching this video, the glass mat will be available to customers starting on July 3rd, 2024. So I'm not sure when you're watching this, but just so that you know, you will be able to order the glass mat and use that on your crafting surface. In a recent video, somebody had asked me if when I'm stamping with my photopolymer stamps, okay, like here's a photopolymer stamp on a block, if I was using the foam Stampin' Pierce mat, sorry, had to think of the exact name of it, under my paper. And if I use my glass mat, I don't need to use the Stampin' Pierce mat for that extra layer of foam. I get a really good impression. And you might have actually seen that video. It was featuring the birthday, attention shoppers bundle, and I was stamping these images. So that was just an example of another reason why I love my glass mat. But anyway, this is not a commercial for the glass mat. I just wanted to give you just all the information that I was thinking of at this time. So stay tuned. I am going to have some videos coming up in this series about cutting your paper to get kind of the most out of your sheets. I am going to give you some tutorials on mounting the red rubber stamps and just a few other things I have written down that I will be sharing with you. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you found some of these tips helpful, and I hope you will watch some of my next videos as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you can always find me on my blog at pattystamps.com, where you'll find these replays as well as other posts, over 6,100 posts there for you. So I hope that you find something that you enjoy. So again, thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye.